Game 7 victory for the Warriors on the road. Oh my goodness, the season marches on. All right, with Dalton Johnson and Monty Poole, I'm Kerith Burke. We are processing this Game 7 win, a blowout for the Warriors after the Kings blew them out by 19 in Game 6. So an emotional roller coaster here, but Dalton, the Warriors getting it done at Golden 1.
Klay Thompson called this the Steph Curry game. Steph Curry, 50 points. And you can kind of feel it from the very start that they were going to need maybe a 40, 45, 50-point kind of night from Steph Curry. He delivered for all 4 quarters. An absolutely historic performance, the most points ever in a Game 7. So, again, this was a Steph Curry legacy game if he needed one, which he didn't. But, again, it only added to the legend of Steph Curry tonight.
Andrew Wiggins went 5 of 16 from the field. Klay Thompson went 4 of 19 from the field. Somebody had to do it.
Somebody had to do it, yeah.
So I think at some point, probably early third quarter, you figured, okay, you know what? It's not happening for Klay. It's not happening for Andrew. Okay, it's on Steph's shoulders. And whose shoulders would you rather have it on?
Steph, absolutely.
Yeah. So it is a Steph Curry game. I mean, when the Warriors' backs are against the wall, so to speak, and realizing that, you know, your 2 other starters that are shooters are having off nights, 9 of 36 combined. Steph was like, okay, so what? You guys, I got your back. I got your back too. Yeah. 50 points, 20 of 38. Like Klay said it after the game. He said, really on the team, nobody else shot the ball well except for Steph.
Yeah, there were some realities in this game, and that's how you end up with a 50-burger from Steph Curry on 38 shots. That is mind-boggling. But, yeah, it had to happen, and Steph carries the team once again.
Yes, he sure did. I mean, this was Steph Curry. This was Klay Thompson. This was Draymond Green, Kevon Looney. The guys, when they needed to step up, they stepped up. We know it was not a great Klay game, shooting the ball-wise, offensively, exactly. Right. But he locked in on defense. He said after the game, I pride myself on being a basketball player, right? So you saw this as far as Game 7. He knows a season, a dynasty could be hanging in the balance right now. Yeah. So he pushed it on defensively. And again, Kevon Looney, there's not much more we can say. So a group effort from the guys that you would expect it from. They went back to Draymond Green in the starting lineup. That starting 5 was a plus 26 together. That core group dominated and gave Steve Kerr everything he was looking for.
Well, that had to be the outcome, right? We knew that Draymond Green was going back into the starting lineup because the Warriors couldn't afford another slow start in Game 6. The Kings raced out to that 8-0 lead. Yep. Warriors didn't want to play from behind again.
Right. Well, you know, Dalton wrote about that, you know, saying that basically Draymond has to start Game 7. And I totally agree. You know, you saw Jordan struggling. You want to set a defensive tone early. I'm surprised that Draymond didn't start Game 6, actually. But I think Steve was like, okay, you know what? Let's put our best lineup out there right now from the start. And you're right. You know, early on, you know, the Kings had it going a little bit, but the Warriors never let them get away. And so I thought you talked about Steph, but Loon, in that third quarter, Steph had 14 points. Huge. Loon had 10 rebounds in 7 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, it's hard to do that when you're in the gym by yourself.
Oh, yeah. 7 offensive.
In the gym by yourself, you can't get 10 rebounds in 7 minutes. So this was a Steph Curry production, and with associate producer Kevon Looney.
Well, there were 2 guys that Steve Kerr made sure he put the spotlight on, even before he took questions. It was Steph and it was Loon. And I think for Loon in particular, because Loon tends to be unsung, Steve reiterated that he thinks that Looney is one of the best centers in the league. He has the numbers to back that up too. And it's Iron Man Loon playing every game this season once again. But as far as the offensive rebounds, Dalton, can you describe how important Loon's 10 O boards were to getting this win?
Well, that third quarter is exactly where everything flipped, and it was because of Kevon Looney and Steph Curry. But the fact that Kevon Looney had 7 offensive rebounds in that third quarter really put everything back in the Warriors' favor. Yeah. In the first half, the Kings took 5 more shots than the Warriors. In the third quarter, the Warriors took 30 shots, 10 more than the Kings. That is huge. They out-rebounded the Kings 23-9 in the third quarter alone. And that's when pretty quickly you could see, okay, this is starting to go in the Warriors' favor. A 10-point lead going into that fourth quarter. So Kevon Looney, he controlled everything. He had 29 more rebounds than Sabonis throughout the series. He ended up averaging 15.1 rebounds per game in the first round of a 7-game series. Just phenomenal from Kevon Looney.
And Sabonis was the NBA's leading rebounder.
Exactly, yes.
Who?
So,
Who?
NBA. I mean,
That's
Kevon
right.
really outplayed him. Rebounding wise, even assists. I mean, he that was a huge factor in this series, that Kevon was able not just to neutralize him, but outplay him. But, you know, you get to a game 7, and I looked at some numbers before the game, and this was a tight series for a good reason. I mean, a lot of the numbers were very similar, very similar, very similar. But only one team has a 2-time MVP. Only one team has a guy who has a finals MVP. Only one team has a guy who has been a Hall of Famer for 5 or 6 years now. And at 35, the oldest dude on the court.
Yeah.
It's like, okay,
Yeah.
you guys, too late. You know, it's too early to shovel dirt on me. It's not happening right now. Maybe next year, year after, maybe when I'm 45. But watching Steph tonight, and Steve mentioned this, you know, 6 assists, 1 turnover.
Yeah.
He was deliberate. He was composed. He played at a different speed. It was somehow quick, yet careful.
Yeah.
You know, and so it was what you want to see from your leader. And the Warriors got that. And, you know, the way everybody else was shooting the ball, you know, Looney's rebounding's notwithstanding. If Steph doesn't do what he does, the Warriors are looking at going home tonight and done. Their season's over.
Yeah, Steph had more shots tonight than he has years on the planet. And when the Kings are saying, we're going to run him, you know, we're younger, they're tired, Steph Curry said, I've got a little something to say about that. All right, so Draymond Green back in the starting lineup, 38 minutes for Draymond, and he just sat down at the podium.
What sort of sparked your defense in the second half? They only scored 42 points. I don't think they scored at all the first 3 or 4 minutes of the fourth quarter. And how much of that started with Kevon?
Everything started with Kevon. You know, I think all series we've done a good job of defending in the half court. So number one, what sparked our defense is taking care of the ball, not turning the ball over, allowing them to get out in transition, and they had to play against our half court defense. For the most part, all series, our half-court defense has been good, but we've given them transition opportunities and then also second chance points. So where it started with Loon, that was dominating the glass. Once we dominated the glass, then it allowed us to show how good our defense had been. And, you know, once we did that, it allowed us to set our offense, get good offensive possessions, and we connected the game together. But Kevon Looney was huge. Andrew Wiggins, incredible defense. Everybody started boxing out. It was great. GP came off the bench. He was really into Malik Monk. And, you know, we stuck with our game plan, and it ended up working for us.
Draymond, some people doubt if championship DNA is a real thing. Did we just see an example of it?
I mean, I think it's a real thing. You know, some people are, you just cut a little differently. You made a little differently, and you know, then you talk about that DNA, that experience. You know, we leaned into that today, but you got to give those guys a lot of credit. Starting with the head of the snake, Mike Brown, to come to an organization that hasn't seen the playoffs in 16 years, and put the team together or bring the team together the way he did is absolutely incredible. So you give Mike Brown credit. De'Aaron Fox being the head of the snake from a player perspective, led his guys, tough player. You know, one of the futures of this league. And, you know, this won't be the last we see of Fox. This won't be the last we see of the Kings. You know, they're headed in the right direction, and you got to give them a lot of credit. So it was, I'm honored to have played in that series, to play in this hostile environment. The fans were incredible. You know, as I continue to progress in my career, you appreciate these moments. You know, you appreciate fan bases like this, loud before the game, loud when the game starts, loud after the game. You have a strong appreciation for environments like this. So I'm very thankful to have played in this series. It was a fun one for us.
Draymond, Steph is the first player to ever drop 50 in a Game 7. Can you sense when he's going to have a big game and lock in and really kind of will you guys in a way that he did tonight?
Yeah, I knew he'd be locked in. You know, when you have an opportunity like tonight, Game 7, we haven't had this opportunity many times. I think this was our 5th one. We played over 30 series, and this is our 5th Game 7, so they're rare. When you have rare situations, rare players do rare things, and Steph Curry was that tonight. He was absolutely amazing. He controlled the tempo of the game. He controlled the pace. no turnovers. I think he had one turnover the entire game. He had the ball the whole game. You can tell when he's locked in and he's laser focused, there's not many defenses in the world that can stop him.
Hey, Draymond. You and Darren had a nice smack talk going throughout this entire series. And after the game, you guys had a nice moment together. If you don't mind sharing what you said to him in that moment.
Just pay my respect. I've been in a lot of playoff series against a lot of different guys. And if I'm honest, you leave most with less respect for a lot of guys. Whether it's, how they act in the moment, how they step up to the pressure. I've lost a lot of respect for guys over the years in the playoffs. And then there are some that you gain respect for. There are some that you see and they're cut from that same cloth you feel like you're cut from. And Fox is one of those guys. And so I just paid my respect, man. Hard-fought battle. Obviously, he's on the wrong end of it. We've been there before. Like, I've been to a Game 7 and lost in the first round. That was my second year in the league. We did that against the Clippers. And it's a part of it. You have to go through that to ultimately reach where you want to go. And so I was really just showing my love and respect for him as a competitor. I was honored to compete against him today, or this series.
German, you kind of alluded to my question when you were answering Maddie's. You guys have played, and this is your 5th Game 7. All of them are pretty famous now. The Clippers won, to Cleveland, beating OKC, and then against the Rockets. Where does this fall just in levels of, gratification, watching what Steph did? Clay said that this is the Steph Curry game of Game 7.
Yeah. When you're in the moment of something, that's always going to feel bigger. I think, and so being in this moment right now, this feels like the biggest one. Quite frankly, the performance Steph put on, you look at all the things that we've gone through this year as a team, to win Game 5 here and then go home and lay an egg, to then come back here on the road and have to do it all over again and do it even better than you did it in Game 5, which was very impressive. I think that speaks, that speaks volumes. Now, you talk about the last dance, the this, the that, and that takes things up another couple notches, So this one definitely feels special, to watch Steph have the game that he had, total domination. Those are the moments that, I'm a basketball fan. As a fan, you can appreciate. As a teammate, that's the guy you want to go to war with, those guys, not just Steph, the guys that that's the guys you want to go to war with, but the way he performed, man, he left no doubt. And I think that's a beautiful thing. We always talk about Game 7 and, how big that is in sports. And to see a GOAT leave no doubt, it's absolutely incredible.
Very quick turnaround for Tuesday night. Just early thoughts on the series against the Lakers.
Totally different team, than they've been the last couple years. Since they've made those trades at the deadline, they've been an incredible team. I think they finished this regular season 20-9. LeBron is playing more off the ball than he ever has in his career, which is, I applaud. It's hard for a guy like that to make that transition, and he's seamlessly done it. And it's helped their team. Not that LeBron on the ball is a problem, but it's just allowed other guys to do more. So they're playing with confidence. Austin Reeves is playing with a ton of confidence. He's playing great basketball. Rui Hachimura is playing with a ton of confidence. AD is obviously AD. LeBron's LeBron. D'Lo has got it going those last couple games over the course of their last series. They have a bench, so it'll be a tough series. But that's what you expect as you move forward in the playoffs. But we're going up against a very good team. Looking forward to getting our game plan tomorrow, whatever that's going to be, and then, starting to put it to work on Tuesday. But it's a quick turnaround, so maximizing your recovery is important for us.
Draymond, of course, you guys, you got the first 2 games at home, though. But we talked to Steve earlier about, the regular season record, which he said, it shouldn't even be talked about. And you have won your last 2 road wins in the playoffs, both here in this building. Just wanted to get your commentary on, how you guys are playing and want to continue playing on the road.
Yeah. What was our regular season record overall? Anybody? Yeah. What about our overall record? Yeah, who cares? Regular season is regular season. It is what it is. We had our struggles. We don't make much of it. We didn't come into this series like, man, we haven't won on the road. We came into this series like we need to win one on the road, whatever that is. If that's game 1, 2, 5, or 7, we need to do it. We did it. Put ourselves in a position to only have to do it once and then let it slip at home and had to come do it again. But at no point was our mindset like, man, you think we can win on the road? Like, we know what we're made of. We know what it takes to win in these type of environments, in these situations, and we lean on that.
Draymond, you mentioned the last dance without getting into any of that stuff in terms of the future. There is a sense that, it seems like the rest of the league's kind of trying to turn the page on all of you guys, right? The Warriors, LeBron, like every time I'm down there, we ask him, how are you still doing this at 38? Like, and now it's you two guys again. How are you guys still in this position, and especially against him?
Well, I think number one, you're talking about some of the ultimate competitors. LeBron is one of the ultimate competitors. Steph, Clay, myself, Loon, ultimate competitors. And so to have these opportunities, we don't take for granted. I think, who you are as a professional show during these times. Here we are, 8 years later from the first time we met in a playoff series and still playing at that level. That's special. It says a lot. It says a lot about who you are as a pro and how serious you take this, how you appreciate this game. And I know I speak for all the guys I just mentioned when I say the appreciation for the game and for the stage, for the lights. Like, I was talking on my podcast the other day after Game 5, I think it was, just like that feeling that you get playing in these type of environments like that, it can't be replicated. It's like it's goosebumps, man. Like this is what you prepare for these moments. And this series against the Lakers is going to be epic. You got Steph, you got Bron doing it all over again. We've never played against the Lakers in a playoff series. We get to experience that. It's a ton of little things going on, but what I will say is stop trying to turn the page on us so fast. Stop trying to turn the page on Bron so fast. We get so caught up in what's the next thing that we don't appreciate the current. And then you get to the next thing and looking back like, man, I wish we still had that. I wish we could still see this. So for me and our guys, we're going to appreciate this every step of the way and continue to appreciate it, but also put ourselves in the best position we can to be successful. And you go from there and you live with those results, knowing that the work has already been put in. Yes, you have to continue to prepare day in and day out, but the work has been put in, and that's why we're here. You continue to rely on that and lean on it.
Well, it's a special night. We wanted to make sure we heard all of what Draymond had to say on the podium. We are waiting for Steph Curry. We want you to know we'll have that in our show, so stick around for that. But Draymond just said something pretty powerful right there. Appreciate the current thing. Don't put this Warriors group to bed yet. Don't put LeBron to bed yet at age 38. And LeBron in his 20th season, by the way. Epic series, Draymond predicted. But yeah, when you've got Steph and Clay and Draymond, that trio, and we do want to give our props to Looney and to Andre as well, but that trio, to see them in action together, we're talking about one of the all-time trios in NBA history.
Oh, no question about it. I mean, you got 4 Hall of Famers, 3 Hall of Famers right there in those 3 guys, and they all have 4 rings. So you look at what they did, and not only that, they did it with a franchise that was known for not being very good for most of its existence. Its existence,
yeah.
Thank you. And so to see the Warriors, see Steph be the guy who basically lifted the Warriors from NBA purgatory, and see Draymond and Clay come on and do their part and then some, I think it's a huge accomplishment, not just for those 3 guys, but for the franchise to have those guys. Steve Kerr's often said this, that all the things that have happened to this team, none of it happens without Steph. And tonight, Game 7, victory. It doesn't happen without Steph.
Yeah.
We're used to it.
Yeah.
I always go back to that tweet that Steph Curry sent out so long ago.
I was thinking about that
His
too.
promise tweet. Though really though, when you think about everything he's done that Monty was just talking about, I kind of just have this little flashback in my head of that tweet of him basically guaranteeing Warriors fans it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
I'm here. It's going to fix things. Give it some time.
Yeah.
And it did because some patience had to be had with him. You know, we know his season where he had 24 games because of the ankles.
Yeah.
All of that, right? For him to be where he is now is just wild to look back on, right? I mean, we truly appreciate every second of this. Never take Steph Curry for granted. Never take this trio for granted. And that's so hard because we're such prisoners of the moment.
Yes.
And just sports fans, media, all of it, right? You want everything right now. Never take that man for granted. Never take everything that's happened with this franchise for granted.
I wish I could. Okay, I think I've got it off the top of my head. It was from 2011, I believe, and we'll figure this thing out.
will figure this
if it's
out.
the last thing we do. All right,
Yep.
the Warriors advancing. Steph Curry just sat down at the podium, but we have to take a commercial break. Hear from Mr. 50 Burger on the other side of this commercial next.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by FitAid Clean Energy and Sports Recovery, the energy drink for athletes. FitAid Energy is naturally sweetened with only 15 calories, no sucralose, no aspartame, and no compromises.
But years now. But you think about this, and how many times this season did all of us, me, I mean, we said, the Warriors, this might be it for them. And it still might. It's not over yet. This is the first round.
Yeah.
But there were times when the Warriors lost Game 6, we're all thinking, are they going to be able to pull this one out?
How they lost Game 6.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
precisely.
wasn't just losing at home, knowing that if they won the game, they had a break between games 2 and 3 against the Lakers, and they lost it, and they lost it horribly. It was like, okay, are they really going to be able to pull this off? And then Steph was like, yes, yes, watch us.
Yeah. And
amazing.
We watched.
Yeah, no, it was that last loss was just so deflating.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, are they going to have the same energy, the same focus? Can they match the Kings on that or be better? The turnovers, 5 turnovers for 7 points, I think it was. That's everything for the Warriors right there, right? Obviously, 50 points, Kevon Looney's 21 rebounds. But rebounding, taking care of the basketball, Steve Kerr said it over and over and over. And that ended up being the difference also in them moving on from the series.
Yeah, John Nguyen says, what's Charles Barkley going to say now?
Old Takes Exposed came after Charles.
He doubled
Charles
down
has
twice.
Keep talking.
Charles has been, Warriors, longtime Warriors fans know that Charles has been a Warriors hater from way back. The little jump shooting teams never do well,
Yeah, right. They can't
little
win.
jump shooting teams.
I swear we're going to figure this out if it's the last thing we do. And homegrown talent, those three.
Right.
So, all right, I'll toss it to Steph, and then we go right to a sound. Yeah. Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by FitAid. Steph Curry, 50 points in 38 minutes on 38 shots. Now, he did have a weird moment when he missed 2 free throws, but right after that, he hit a three-pointer. I think he was fine. Steph going into psycho mode. Let's hear from him.
Steph, congratulations on the win tonight and on 50 points. Historic. You keep making history in these games. What went through your head at the start of this game, knowing that you were going to have a loud crowd to do the game that you did tonight?
This has been it was a really fun series. It was tough from game 1 to game 7, and it was, kind of a vibe of different adjustments from game to game. And based on how game 6 went, we knew that they were probably going to stick to the same kind of formula, playing mostly small, different rotations. And that allowed us to kind of go back to the drawing board on how we wanted to attack their defense and keep the game as simple as possible and to the pace that we like it. And that was a lot of pick and roll, a lot of just organized offense that gave us a good start. We got some good looks to open up the game, and that allowed us to connect our offense and defense together. We say that a lot, and that's a big part of who we are and how we were successful. So for me, it was just about being aggressive in that scheme and being as consistent as possible. And obviously, I got up 38 shots for a reason, because we started to see where the holes were, and I could be ultra aggressive to get looks, and it worked.
Steph, in the first half, you missed the 2 free throws back to back, and the next couple times you went to the free throw line, the cameras were on you. It looked like you were smiling, almost beaming, I guess you could say. But what was that about? Why?
Attitude can manifest a lot of things, and I told Q on the sidelines I've missed 4 or 5 free throws the last 2 games. Not like me, but never overthink it. Just enjoy the moment. So the smile was intentional and trying to just be in the present, and as simple as it is, it's just trying to make a free throw. So I like to have fun with it.
Steph, Draymond just referred to Malik Monk, saying you guys were old, and might have been referenced in other places. How much motivation do you get out of that? How much is this team that's been together for so long has won so much, just trying to kind of fight back people saying it's over for you guys?
I think the competitive spirit is always in us, and we didn't need any sound bites to motivate us, but it did help to know, they thought they had something in the sense of the pace that, they tried to get the game to in Game 6, and that was a talking point for them. But at the end of the day, we knew who we are, and these last 36 hours to regroup and try to figure out what our adjustments are going to be and how we wanted to come out. We had a great talk yesterday and great film session, and there's still nerves and anxiousness and anticipating a big night, but when we get out there, our experience took over and felt pretty comfortable from the jump. So it was a great experience.
Steph, it looked like late in the game in particular, you had some things to say to the crowd, and you even motioned looked like you were lighting the beam. Just what goes through your head in moments like that?
I mean, it's just the playoffs. Like, there's so much built into a series, especially when you go 7 games and, the fans get into it, and especially, Bay Area, NorCal kind of situation, their first time in the playoffs in a long time. So you just get, all that stuff kind of comes out when you get the job done. Sometimes you're on the wrong end of it. Sometimes, we had a lot of experience of winning series, so you just let all that out. It's this is hard. Like, this is winning at this level. There's a lot of narratives and commentary throughout game to game, and you're trying to block it all out and just focus on basketball. But at the end of it, there's fun with it too.
Steph, right here. So obviously you just carried the team. You got 50 points, and the Draymond just called you dominate the game. So who can stop Steph Curry?
Hopefully, we'll never find out.
Question: How does the NBA champion DNA make this team special and to handle Game 7?
You can always go into the memory bank of how you feel in these type of environments. Because like I said, there's still nerves and butterflies because it matters, and we love this atmosphere, and we've been doing it for a very long time. So once the ball drops, it's just playing basketball at the end of the day. And I think I said that after Game 6, you focus on the details of how you're trying to execute. You trust each other, everybody that's out there on the floor. We had great energy off our bench. Everybody who played came in with the right intentions. There's a lot of conversation and communication and togetherness on the bench, which is huge for us. And everything was connected. So when that happens, and then you're on the court and you have clarity about what you're trying to do, good things usually happen. And it was a great time to kind of put it all together on the road in Game 7.
Any early thoughts on Lakers series and just how schematically different you expect that to be?
They're totally different. The Kings present a lot of different challenges. We know Bron really well. Played him a couple times, I think, since the trade, and they look extremely different. So I know they're playing good basketball, and it's weird, a 6-7 seed series. We get home court advantage, so we got to take advantage of that. But they're big, and we got to be able to have everybody, locked in on our preparation over the next 48 hours. And even if guys didn't get much run in this series, that's the nature of the playoffs. Move on to a different team, a different style. Everybody's got to be ready to make those adjustments on the fly.
Stephen, for someone over here to your right, for someone who appreciates the history of the game, you're going to take on LeBron, the Lakers, for the first time in this run. How much do you relish the moments of taking on LeBron again and taking on the Lakers in this next round of the playoffs?
It's amazing because you're still in the fight. It's better than the alternative of on the outside looking in, and having been down 0-2 in this series, like nothing's guaranteed. You don't take anything for granted, and it is special to know. From the first series we played him in Cleveland, 14-15 season to now, we're blessed to be playing at this level still, and excited about a new chapter. Two teams trying to keep your season alive and chase a championship, and that's what it's all about.
All right, so here we go. Lakers, Warriors. It's Tuesday. It's at 7 o'clock. It's at Shea Center. The Warriors coming off the 20-point win tonight. The Lakers coming off that 40-point win against the Grizzlies. And, yeah, the narrative is already happening. It's LeBron versus Steph. But you are talking about two of the greatest players of all time. All right, we'll be back on Dubs Talk, brought to you by Fit Aid. Okay, we'll be back.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Fit Aid Clean Energy and Sports Recovery, the energy drink for athletes. Fit Aid Energy is naturally sweetened with only 15 calories, no sucralose, no aspartame, and no compromises.
We'll write. I'm going to write about the.
Hey, is our show portion done? Or do we have another block? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Oh, so we're just on YouTube.
Okay. Oh, we have a minute and a half to preview the Lakers. Okay.
Right.
I truly didn't know, and I was like, I'm Ron Burgundy.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Come
I
back.
was like, are we done? Okay. No, that's okay. All right, we'll wrap up the show. We've got like 90 seconds when we come back. So, man, oh man. There's all sorts of comments that have been great in the YouTube chat. I'm sorry, guys, I can't get into all of them, but there's a lot of capital letters. Mike Gee says, turn off the beam, y'all. We're in an energy crisis.
Oh, ouch.
That's good.
Ouch.
Well, did you see that clip of Steph lighting the beam during the show? I love it. He always knows how to press the buttons of what people are saying. That's right.
Yep.
They hear everything. We know that they're the petty kings. Draymond said post-game something like, we heard Malik Monk called us old.
You did.
I mean,
You did. Yep.
Guess who advanced, kiddo?
Mike Brown said we're going to run.
7 runs. Yeah, we're going to run.
Well, and let's face it, Steph, like you said, he hears everything.
Yeah.
And when somebody says they're old, Steph takes that personally.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, it does.
Steph takes that personally.
I didn't see it. He said
I see you did there. I see you did there. Took that personally.
I took that personally. But he doesn't have any grays.
No.
There's nothing with that beard.
But still,
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't. I mean,
Yeah.
you ask Steph about his age, and he's like,
okay.
I took that personally.
I'll just play basketball and let you form your own opinion.
That's right. Okay.
I just thought of a funny lead.
LeBron versus Steph. Welcome back to Dubs Talk. Brought to you by Fit Aid. All right, here is the playoff brackets. We know it's Warriors and Lakers. That game coming up on Tuesday. Taking a look, the 1 seed in the West is still alive. It's Denver and Phoenix. So which team should the Warriors advance? I'm getting so ahead of myself. the 1 seed or KD? The 1 seed or KD? I don't know. It's fun to be a fan for a second and just think about that. Regular season. The Lakers had the advantage over the Warriors, but as Draymond would tell you, what does the regular season mean in the postseason, Monty?
Yeah. I mean, that's what the Warriors are saying. And Steve Kerr's been saying it for the last few days is that what happened in the regular season doesn't apply anymore. We're a different team now. And Game 6, I thought, are you?
Yeah.
And then comes Game 7, like, okay, I see you are. You know. But again, it's not just the fact that they have Wiggins healthy and they have GP. It's also still Steph, when it matters the most, comes up the biggest. And that can happen for another 4 or 5 years if you let it.
Yeah. All right, sum it up for us. The Warriors have a bus ride home, Dalton. That's Dalton. That's Monty. I'm Kerith. What are they thinking on the way home?
Obviously, the confidence there, we already knew that. We don't need to question that. But a completely different Lakers team than they saw before that trade deadline. The Warriors got their GP2, so they know how excited they are about that, to have GP2, to have Wiggins. But the Lakers, a completely different team, a team that's been very, very good since the All-Star break, since the trade deadline. So it'll be very interesting seeing these matchups that Steve Kerr puts out against Darvin Ham's squad as well.
Yeah, I think that Steph is going to be tremendous. I have more confidence that he will be tremendous than I do that LeBron will be tremendous.
Yeah.
I just got a feeling.
Yeah, all right, the series is going to Hollywood, but first it goes to Chase Center. All right, lots of narratives already underway, not too far after the Warriors take Game 7. All right, we got a new podcast coming up for you. Do tune in. Thanks for watching Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Fit Aid. Okay. Mike Gee said this was a home game for Golden State. Actually, that's kind of interesting. So the Warriors family section, which was right by the Warriors tunnel, started to lead that post-game chant. Let's go Warriors. Everybody was hype.
Really?
All you have to do, all you have to do is point up its scoreboard at this one. A 20-point Game 7 win with a player having 50 points.
20-point Game 7 win on their floor.
On their floor. Now, that said, I don't feel like making the Kings, I don't feel like stomping on the Kings. I feel like this is a great series for them. I think there's a lot of respect.
Great series.
A lot of respect between these teams, especially Coach of the Year, Mike Brown.
Kings going to keep coming.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to keep coming. They are young. I mean, Harrison Barnes is an old guy. He's 30 or 31. Sabonis is going to be fine. De'Aaron Fox is a beast.
Oh, yeah.
Malik Monk is like that. He's like their Draymond in the sense that he kind of brings that oomph, that gusto. I mean, every night. He's not going to shoot well every night, but he's going to be in your face every night. And he's the one who said before Game 1, we need to hit him in the mouth.
Yeah.
I heard him say, I was here, I heard him say, we need to hit him in the mouth. And I was like, okay, that's the attitude you need to have in the playoffs. And that's why in Game 1, neither Malik Monk nor De'Aaron Fox was in any way cowed by the fact that it's Game 1 of the playoffs. We've never been here before. In the fourth quarter, they were beasts.
Yeah, there you go.
No, De'Aaron Fox is a star. I mean, like this is someone who we talked about as a former top draft pick. Hey, like he has these skills. He's on the right path. First All-Star. Now it's like, no, this guy is a star. He's going to be one of the faces of the league. The Kings are coming for sure. Mike Brown has this team fully locked in as far as they believe, and you could feel it from them. So this is not the last that we're going to see of this Sacramento Kings team at all.
No, De'Aaron Fox.
I'm going to quote Giannis Antetokounmpo. If you're the Kings, this is not failure.
Yes.
Yeah, no, not at all.
There's steps. There are steps. And you really do in the NBA, almost always, you have to have some heartbreak before you can get to the top. And the Warriors, that 2014 series against the Clippers, a Game 7 game series, that was their, okay, we're in the big time now, we think, but we just got beaten by the Clippers. And you watch how they play the Clippers for the next 5 years.
Talk about punching in the mouth.
Every time. I mean, they owned them after that. Owned them. So The Kings they'll be fine.
I don't think the Kings will be satisfied with this outcome, obviously, but they should be proud of their season when the dust settles, when the emotional dust settles on this one. We know De'Aaron Fox was playing with a fractured finger, and Draymond gave him a really nice compliment afterward that sometimes when you're in a playoff series with a guy and you get to know them a little better, you lose respect. He said he gained respect for De'Aaron Fox. All right, that's enough about the Kings. We've got a Warriors podcast to tape, a new Dubs Talk coming your way shortly, and we'll see you Tuesday, guys. Thanks for watching.